Hi and welcome to the Village Traders podcast. I'm your host Njabulo Nsibande. This podcast is aimed at helping new and experienced traders navigate the markets and learn from other traders. This is episode number 31. In this week's episode, I'm chatting with Regan Wagner as he takes me through his journey into the financial markets, his lessons, trading principles, and some more. When recording this interview, we did experience a bit of latency in our conversation due to network problems. However, this was a great conversation. I do apologize for that. Please do enjoy our conversation. Hi, Regan, man. How you doing?
Great, Njabulo. Can't complain. Lovely Monday, I guess, in my part of the world in Durban. Yourself?
All is well, man. All is well. Cannot complain too much. Thank you for borrowing us your time, man. Without any further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Please do take me through your journey into the financial markets, how it all started, to now. You know, the instruments you started trading. You started with, you know, when it comes to trading, and the instruments that you're trading now, if they're different.
Okay, let me try to answer that first part of your question. First jumped into markets. So my first taste of the financial markets was back in 2006. And if I recall, the JSE used to do roadshows around the country. And I was in Richards Bay at the time. I think I was in school, if I'm not mistaken, or in my final years in school. And the JSE guys had a presentation there about what financial markets are, and it was free to join. So, yeah, chasing money or whatever, or dreams of money, so to speak. So I went for the conference. Very fascinated by this whole thing that, like, you can make money from anywhere in the world from a computer and a laptop. I was like, crazy, really? And then from that point, I think I waited it out for a good couple of years. At least 4 or 5 years later, I think in 2010, when I saw a video of Simon Brown on YouTube, I think that's the first time where I got a rough idea of how to actually trade and the platforms that are available to do it and stuff. And it was obviously not very well practiced because I looked at the video and my first instincts were, this is easy. This is an easy way to make money. Opened a trading account, and I think at the time, I think GT247 had just started operations. I speak under correction, but I think it was GT247 that had just started. And I traded through them and opened a small account. Traded, one lost, blew up the account. Closed down the trading from that year on, and I think in 2012 I picked it up again. Opened another account, small amounts of money, small amount of capitalized it with a small amount of money. Trade. Blew that account up, and eventually in 2016, I said to myself, okay, I need to get more serious. I need to get more well-versed in this. And I basically started reading up as much material as I could. And to be quite honest, what I did discover at the time is I did have a problem with access to information about markets. And so for some reason in 2016, things just became easy. Like, all this information was easy to find. It was easy to read up, go on the net. There were lots of YouTube videos about it suddenly. So something changed. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was my attitude. And yeah, man, 2016, capitalized an account, and been trading ever since. But also, once again, smaller capitalized with a very small amounts of money. And second, the question would be, I actually followed what Simon Brown was teaching, which was indices at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was trading indices mainly. And obviously, Simon Brown is a big advocate of trend following. So that's what I got into. I became a trend follower. Um, and because I had discovered by my own experience that day trading is a harsh game. So I knew what it was like to blow up your account like in a day trade. So when Simon's knowledge, when I eventually got Simon's knowledge, I was like, okay, no. So this is a long game. You don't really just yeah, it's not a fly by night thing. You're not going to get rich overnight. You're not going to get rich over a year, even possibly. Um, it's going to take time to build up an account, a very solid account, and obviously take it from there. And it's for me, all I've learned is trading is a game of patience.
Yeah, that's very
And
true.
yeah, what is trading is a game of patience. I mean, I think I've been through all of it. The chasing prices higher, getting smashed. uh, what else? Not having stop losses, getting smashed. Sure, yeah, I've nearly experienced all of it. The only thing I haven't experienced, I guess, is like a 50% overnight drawdown or something. Which this was a recent revelation of mine, which was apparently, I don't know if you were aware of this, that an overnight drawdown in a stock, if you have a stop loss, it won't trigger.
When it gaps through your stop, ne?
Yeah, apparently, if it gaps through your stop and it has a 50% drawdown, goodbye stop loss. There's no stop loss. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a revelation to me. I was like, geez, I've been so complacent with I've got stops, blah blah blah. So I think the only platform that actually offers that is IG.
Yeah, IG offers
I think
guaranteed
IG is the
stops.
only people that I know of right now where you have a guaranteed stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of the things that I sleep easy, but whew, yeah, it's a bit
But
of
I
a
know with
revelation to
think
me.
markets as well, they don't offer a guaranteed stop, but they do take you out at market once the price trades below your stop. They just take you out at market, whatever that gap is. But I'm not sure about a 50% gap because I've never experienced that so far.
No, it's basically if the stock falls 50% while you're asleep or you wake up, right?
Hmm.
Let's just say for some reason Cecil went under overnight. When you wake up in the morning and boom, I guess in the pre in the pre order book when market opens and let's just say in that first 10 minutes it falls 50%. Goodbye.
Yeah, and that because especially when trading single stocks, that could possibly happen. You know that can happen because
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
there's often bad news are released overnight, and small traders like
yeah.
us don't have the open market auction or the closing market auction for that matter.
Mm, very true,
Yeah.
very true.
So
So
what I
yeah, man, it's been a wild ride.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
I'm saying
yeah, it's been a wild ride. It's
yeah, as I can imagine, you know, your story is not too dissimilar to mine. I was also introduced by Simon Brown, starting investing in ETFs and indices, started trading with indices. Now recently that I moved to trading stocks, and thankfully I moved into trading stocks with a bit more a, a much more better knowledge than I had when I started trading.
mm.
A few years ago. Also, started. I picked it up around 2016. Stopped it, came back, stopped it, came back, stopped it, came back, until about a couple of years ago, where actually let me like keep trying until I find the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, well, in sorry, Njabulo.
Yeah, you can
Go
excuse.
ahead. Sorry.
I think you can excuse the delay. I mean, there's a bit of a delay. Network isn't
There's a
that
bit of
great.
delay. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so what are you trading these days? Because I see you trading offshore markets, local markets. Are you trading single stocks, or are you still trading indices? And are you still a trend
So
follower?
still indices. Yes, still a trend follower. I mean, one of the systems I use, which is openly available, freely available, that is the Simon Brown lazy trading system. I think a lot of people are familiar with that. I use that, and also the 721, trading system as well. I use that for trading indices specifically. I also trade JSC stocks now. And I don't have a particular reason for trading JSC stocks. I never did. And I had, well, it might sound silly, but it was Simon Brown who said, JSC stocks didn't work for him. So he just stopped trading them. So I never traded them. So I just stayed away from them. And like now, 2020 December was the first time I think the first stock I bought was Nsibande.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first market I traded was Nsibande. And yeah, I lost money with that. And I was thinking to myself, oh no. And I think luckily, I mean, I don't know, but I would say that with JC specifically, I feel that maybe my trading isn't that great, but because of this, there's been obviously this bull market that's happened, and I think it's really, I think it's carried me forward slightly. I don't think I'm as good as I make myself out to be at the moment. The bull market is the bull market is basically creating a bit of buoyancy, which I don't like actually. It's creating a bit of buoyancy here. So yeah, on Jobs, I mean, to be frank, it's indices I trade, the JSE I trade, commodities I trade. I've actually even had a knock at treasury bonds, at bonds. I've traded bonds. What else have I had a knock at? Indices, ETFs. I haven't had very good luck with ETFs. I've traded ETFs, and for some reason, I haven't traded ETFs where there's like volume and they move higher or lower very quickly. There's not much volatility in the ETFs that I've
Yeah,
traded, so I stay away from ETFs generally.
yeah. There isn't much volatility in the ETF space, but there is good trends in the ETF space. Once they start trending, but they can go
Very, very
into a
stable.
sideways. They can go into a sideways market for a long while.
At the spreads as well with the ETFs I've traded, I think the two that I've traded, yeah, the spreads were pretty wide on those. So even when I eventually did close the trades, I think I broke even, and this was after 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I understand you're a part-time swing trader. What are some of the challenges that you face trading part-time? And do you think you would be better off trading full-time once that opportunity arises, or you're just good, trading end of day?
Um,
And
you
if there
know,
are any challenges, what are your workarounds around those challenges?
look, um, I do have the vision in mind of trading full time, but I still think I'd be more of a swing trader, even as a full time. Okay, so I do my trading is a business; it's a side hustle for me right now,
Mhm.
and if I have the vision of taking it full time, but it's still going to be. I still want it to be more of a swing trading uh, type of setup, so that I feel like staring at your computer screen all day at the edge of your seat isn't really a valuable usage of your time. And really, I think, time is short. Time is
Yeah.
really short. And I really believe, there are better ways to spend your time than sitting there watching a 5 minute chart and praying, that it goes your way. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't have real time charting out here, so I think that actually is a feature you pay for. So we don't have real time charting available to us. So those are all the types of little nitty things you need to have an advantage. So there are a lot of tools that you need to be a successful like day trader.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I couldn't agree
Yeah,
with you
there are a
more,
lot of tools
man.
that you need.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with
There
you
are a lot of
more.
tools that you need.
Yeah, swing trading is far, far much better, at least from my perspective. It's better than day trading because I think, I have a better use for my time than just looking at staring at the charts.
Yeah, I mean, and what challenges? Oh, sheesh. I mean, being a swing trader, I honestly, I'll be honest when I say no. I don't feel I have to think very carefully about this. Very carefully. Challenges as a swing trader. No, Jobs. I don't know. I might come back to that, but really, I think I eventually found after going and headbutting all over the show, I eventually found something that works well with my lifestyle.
Yeah, and I think the longer time frame that you trade, the less challenges that you start to face because it takes lesser time to kind of trade those markets. Because I've also been toying around the idea of just trading the weekly chart and just looking at the charts over the weekends. But for now, I'm still happy trading end of day. Takes an hour or two of my day every evening, maybe 15-10 minutes in the morning if I have an entry to take in the morning. But other than that, I don't necessarily feel any kind of challenges as well. So yeah, I'm not surprised that you have to think long and hard about that.
Yeah, no, like that's why I say eventually. I think I've been there where I banged my head around this whole thing of trying to trade full time during the day, and I mean, I got clobbered. I'm not saying I'm a person who gives up, and I wouldn't mind the challenge, but it was staring. I was really literally staring at my computer screen for 3 hours, 4 hours, and you come back, take an hour break, and then you're staring at your computer screen again. But yeah, I mean, like I feel like like we're saying, swing trading for me, I think is the way to go. Other people obviously have their own methods. There are people I know in the trading community are actually full time day traders. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a beauty of the market, man. It's a in perpetual motion. Then that everybody, whether you're a swing trader, day trader, we all find opportunities in the market. So take me through your trading process and like what are the steps that you take and take me through your trading systems. How do you define an opportunity or how do you define an edge? I know you mentioned Simon Lazy and 721. I do trade the Lazy on the Citrix 40 ETF. I've been long of the trade for a while now. Showing me some
Hmm.
some 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 good green, but I also trade other stuff when it comes to single stock. So please do take me through your trading system or systems if you have more than one, and the process um, that you go through on a daily basis.
So I start with my charting on a Friday afternoon after markets close. Not a Friday afternoon. I actually went on. So I follow U.S. markets as well. Single stocks there, and obviously after it closes, that's at 10 p.m. South African time. When U.S. markets close, I will chart. I will start with the stocks I'm interested in. So basically, what I then do is it'll be I check for markets making 52-week high, markets making 50 stocks making 52-week highs,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll sift down from there. Uh, go into each chart, starting with the month, then come down to the weekly, and then come down to the daily. And I'm using things like the exponential moving average, a 200-day exponential moving average to see which side, how a stock is doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for things like that. And I'm looking for primary trends as well. And is a stock going up or is a stock going down? I think that's actually why I start as I'm going through the monthly and the weeklies. I'm looking for is a stock going up? What is the trend? Is the primary trend up or is the primary trend down? And I'll sift down into the weekly, see what's happening there, down into the daily. And from there, I'll be able to see, okay, is there using for example the 721 system, I'll be able to see via the moving averages crossing where exactly there's an entry for me. And I'll generally it's a hard thing to say, but I generally don't always have entries when my moving averages cross over. I generally miss them by about three candles. By the way, I use candles to in my trading. I don't use the bar charts. And what else is there?
There's line charts and a
Um,
bunch of other things.
line charts. Yeah, I'm from the school where we use candles, so candles are what I'm familiar with. So I generally don't seem to find a lot of entries when my moving averages actually cross. It's always for some reason or the other, it's always about two candles above or two candles below, and that's where I catch my entries. And that's using the 721 system. And so I'll put my entry. I'll get an entry there, and I was using it, and I was using ATR as a stop loss strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but because the bull market, which started last year, yeah, so because of the bull market, I've actually adjusted from my ATR, and I use a 1% now stop loss because, well, yeah, it's a bull market. And uh, I've noticed a general trend where there's not a lot of retests happening so basically when stocks take off now, they go. And it's a while before a pullback comes through, although yes, I also do buy on pullbacks. So the same thing, I will have an entry, 1% stop loss. um, and what I'm doing as the stock moves higher, or if it's if I'm selling, if I'm short the stock as the stock moves lower, I keep adding to that. Every time there's a pullback, I literally wait for pullbacks. I'm one of those people. I had to learn it. It's is it a skill? I think it's a skill. I think we can define it as a skill
It
where
is. It
you
definitely is.
wait for
It
a pullback.
definitely is.
Because yeah, they're same thing. I learned through experience. If you don't wait for pullbacks, your account goes to zero. Klar. Because I've literally had a situation where um, Dr. David Paul, and this was Victorvest. I'd watched one of his trading videos, and he had talked about how you double down in trades, and I did that back in the day, and I think it was the DAX, and I added, and I didn't have stop losses. So I had a stop loss in my initial trade, my initial entry, but I didn't have as it was doubling. And when it reversed all the way right down to my stop loss, and I lost all that money as I'd been doubling down. I'm sure I lost 1,000 rand straight from that trade.
Yeah, yeah, man, and that's the strategy that I'm using. Except I do actually add stop losses, and I'm sure you've learned to put stop losses as you're adding into positions because
Yeah. As you add to positions, have a
yeah,
stop loss somewhere.
because you want
And
you want your average winner to be bigger than your average loser.
very true. Very true. So I've learned how to actually add to. I've now learned how to add on pullbacks. So I wait for pullbacks. When there's a pullback, I'll add to the trade. Set another 1% stop loss. Sometimes even 0.5% of the stop loss, and I'll let it go, let it go, let it go. Like I'm having a really great trade. I have a really great trade with the Hang Seng at the moment, which is the Hong Kong indice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Having another great trade with the Nikkei, which is the Japan 225, which you might be familiar with.
Yeah, yeah,
Having a
yeah.
really great trade with that. I've been in that trade since November 12th, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Asian markets, generally the emerging markets, but like for some reason I got stuck in the Nikkei. I got stuck in the Hang Seng. I'm also in Taiwan. Um, what else? Great trades for me. Cecil's been a great trade for me of late. Uh, oh, Brent. I'm also in Brent. And the funny thing is, Njabulo, the really weird thing is, I've been in these trades for about 3 months now. I mean, it's January 2021 right now. This was November, towards the beginning of November.
Mm-hmm.
I took these trades, and it's somewhat of a new experience for me um, to hold a position in the stocks for this amount of time. I,
Yeah,
I, I would normally I would have normally back in the day after 3 days or whatever, without my trade hitting its target, I'd see, okay, I've made $100 here and I just close the trade and leave. So it's the first time where I think because of the bull market, um, I've just been in these trades. I've been in those trades.
yeah, yeah. I can relate to holding positions for a very very long time, and that generally caught me by surprise. I didn't expect to be holding positions this long. I thought, with the volatility of the stock market, with single stocks and event risk and that sort of thing, I'll generally be in and out of trades within a couple of weeks or so. But there are positions that I've been in since like August last year. I know my Foschini
Yeah,
trade.
man, you've been in ARI for a while now, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I took that in October, and I've been adding into African Rainbow. Distel as well is another one that took a while. There's a few trades that are older than a month at the moment, and it just keep adding into those positions for as long as the market gives me opportunities to add into the position. So you mentioned that you take a 1% risk. Is it 1% of capital or 1% of price for your stock?
No, no, 1% of my capital.
Oh, gotcha. So you
Yeah, it's
you
one
place a
percent of my
stop loss,
capital.
and
Yeah.
then you calculate your position size based on that.
Yeah, it used to be ATR. Like I used to, I'm saying, I used to use a Petri Riedling Hayes introduced me to the whole ATR story. And yes, of course, I still use ATRs when there's volatility. So like for some reason, if I feel like uh, trading when the market opens, which is when it's most volatile for me, in my experience anyway. When there's volatility, I'll use these ATR. So for whatever reason, if what did I enter? I think recently there was a bit of volatility in the Brent crude.
Hmm.
I know it's a commodity, yeah, but there was a bit of volatility in Brent crude. I think on Friday or Thursday last week. And what I then did was I used the ATR to get into that trade. It was so the market's been falling. I think there's been a bit of a pullback from Thursday. I think it is in Brent crude, and I bought some. Um, in the morning, so 3 o'clock in the afternoon, US time, I bought some, and there was a bit of volatility happening there. And I'm still. So basically, what I'm trying to say there is the awesome part of the ATR is I'm still not stopped out of that trade.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I also I use market structure, but I also double check with ATR because I want my stop to be at least 2 ATRs away. It's often more than 2 ATR. But if where I want to put my stop loss is less than two times the ATR, I just make two times the ATR my stop. That's kind of how I'm able to stay this long into positions because I hardly get stopped unnecessarily. I've been stopped, and watched the market come back in my direction for a while in some trades as well. But that's I'm comfortable in me doing the right thing whenever I'm trading, especially when I'm trading the stock.
I don't know if you'd agree with me, Njabulo, that the one thing that I seem to almost not care about anymore is when I have a loss, right? And when I say a loss, let's just say a trade is going against me like proper and it's about to touch my stop loss. I don't know if it's something that also comes with experience, but like I just don't give a damn anymore.
Yeah.
Like it used to make I used to proper panic, like, oh my gosh, no, I'm gonna lose money. But like for some reason, I just don't give a damn anymore. I'll be honest here when I say I took a CFD position in Bitcoin 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And remember, Bitcoin had a 30% drawdown. I think it was last week as well, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I had a 30% drawdown. I was and for me, this is big. When I see a minus 400 rands position, like, okay, this position is 400 rands against me right now. Like prior to all of this, in years prior to like now in 2020 and now in 2021, I panicked and I just don't give a damn anymore. I just so I think that has come I've come a long way in that respect. Like I don't really give a damn whether I lose a lot of money. I feel like it's school fees. Of course, yes, I have risk management in place, but there's trades like I'm saying, like the CFD in Bitcoin. It's a risky trade, but I
Yeah.
managed to enter it with like I was like, oh well, here's what I'm willing to risk in this Bitcoin trade, and fine. If it starts me out at whatever it was, I'm fine with that amount. It's cool. Like Bitcoin's volatile, so cool. I think it's the one thing where it's like it's a Bitcoin CFD, and it's the one thing where one of the few stocks you might say where it's almost like a gamble, and yeah, you're risking what you're risking.
Hmm.
But yes, what I'm trying to get, the point I'm making there is it's I feel like I've come a long way when it comes to
Taking losses.
I'm not really concerned with my profits and losses. Yeah, I'm not really concerned with profits and losses. I'm more concerned about trading.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more, man, because um I can relate in the sense that like losses don't have a negative emotional impact on me anymore. Nor
No,
does
no.
winning positions have
Yeah,
so overly elated on winning position. Obviously, it's nice to find yourself in winning positions, but
yeah,
my
yeah.
concern is just on trading my system very, very well and like, executing with precision each and every time, whether, I find myself in 20 losing trades in a row like I did last year. Um, I just kept on doing the exact same thing. And, due to good money management, I've, dug myself out of that hole again.
Um, I can give you a quick, a quick intro to what happened to me now in 2020. And I mean, I haven't discussed it, but I did have a 50% drawdown in the crash in March
Yeah.
in my account. 50% drawdown.
And that's a lot. And because you need 100% to
50%
come
drawdown.
back to
Exactly. Exactly. 50% drawdown, and so 50% drawdown, and if I close out all my trades now, I'll be 110% up.
you see, it's astounding, man. That's big ups to you, man. That's proper astounding. So
Yeah, no,
I know that you're trading offshore
thanks.
markets. I know that you're trading offshore markets. How do you manage currency exposure, or are you just trading in dollars or whatever the currency that you're trading in?
I have, so I trade both I have a USD account and I
Mm-hmm.
have a rand denominated account as well, which I use for the platforms we have available locally. Um, yeah, I mean, the only thing I really have, I feel like when I trade in dollars, so I still have that. There is that part of me when I'm trading in dollars where I have a bit of a nervous. There's still a bit of nervousness because I have the currency converter in my mind. Where like, okay, I've just lost $10. That's $100. If I need to move, okay, it's actually more than $100. It's actually more than $100. I'm like, okay, if I need to capitalize my account again, I'm gonna have to move over like $400. So there is a bit of that when I'm trading with dollars. I do have a bit of that fear, but it's not so serious. It's also it's diminished quite a bit. Initially, when I started, it was really bad. If a position had moved against me $1 in my US dollar account, I close it out. That's how finicky I was. So what is that? 1 point, 2 points, and I'm closing out a position.
And yeah, you could be exiting some good positions there as well.
And that's exactly it. So I've yeah, I would say yeah, I'm comfortable, I guess, with a $10 loss or $15 loss now. Yeah, I mean, for my rand side of things, I don't know if there's much for me to say there. Yeah, trading in rands. Uh, what can I say about trading in rands, Jobs? It's we should I say we all trade in rands,
Yeah.
and I don't really have any. Like I was saying to you, for some reason, I think that's the discerning difference right there. When I'm trading in rands, I'm very calm, and I don't. As I'm saying, I don't really worry about my profits and losses. But with dollars, it's still a bit. It's still there. It's a little there. That little bit of fear is still there.
Yeah, perhaps it's just the matter of converting the exchanges on your head when you're looking at a loss or a profit.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Do you put any emphasis on fundamental analysis when you're trading, particularly when you're trading single stocks?
Jabulo, I won't lie to you. I'm 100% technical. Hey, 100% technical. I don't worry about news. I don't worry. I mean, there are those things that you hear now and then. Unfortunately, we're on social media. You can't help
Yeah,
but
yeah,
see, oh, oil's doing this, that's doing that. But like, I still, when I'm doing my charting, it's something where I literally just I ignore it. I've forgotten that China's having problems. It's not something I factor in at all.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, similar to me, man. I do, as to your point, we live on social media. You'll hear news or you'll read news on different companies that you're trading. For example, the Aspen trade that I'm watching at the moment. That vaccine story will kind of play in my mind, but I don't put any emphasis on the fundamentals. I put emphasis on what the price is doing right now. I don't care what since announcements do. If they work in my favor, great. If they don't, yeah, it's whatever, man. So
Yeah,
let's
too bad.
let's help a new trader or any trader not to blow your account, because you've blown accounts, a few accounts that you've blown. I've blown accounts as well. What's the one or two things that had you knew and understood then before you blew your account, you wouldn't have blown your account?
So, to any new trader out there, I would say, you know, stop losses or risk management is something you need to familiarize yourself with. Like, familiarize yourself, know it,
Mhm.
right? Risk management would be, I think, for me, really key there because the longer time you can have not losing money. So, okay, make me make a practical example. If you have a 10,000 Rand account, and if you can have proper risk management in place,
Mhm.
and the market has a drawdown like the market crashed like it did last year in 2020, Um, I can say something like where you can have a drawdown, but you're still in the game.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you have proper risk management in place, you're still in the game. And I feel as if, as long as you have proper risk management in place, it's like, so you have this 10,000 now. You have a bad draw. Okay, you have a drawdown of some kind. Proper risk management, you lose 300, 400,
Hmm.
and the longer time you can have money in your trading account, the longer you can stay in the game, the more time you have to learn. And it's a learning game. I mean, I learn every day.
Yeah, yeah,
Every day I'm learning. So I think for me, the key thing for I would tell a new trader is learn risk management. And then the second thing would be trust your system. If you have a trading system, trust your system. Those are the two things I tell a new trader.
yeah. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, man, because they say if you remain solvent for long enough, eventually you'll be profitable as a trader. And that goes to, it goes down to risk management and not losing and not losing an inordinate amount of money on a single trade.
Mm,
And
yes,
you
yes.
know you've watched me trade on the Wednesday webinars that we do with Simon and
Yes, I
ThinkMarkets.
do.
You've seen, man, my run of losing streak, man, and the only thing that has kept me in the game is risk management. And because of that, I think I'm about 50% up at the moment. If I were to close all my positions right now, I'll be 50% up. uh,
Look at
uh,
that.
you know and what I, to add to what you just said, I think with regards to stop loss, I understand what a stop loss is. A stop loss, at least in my mind, is a place where you are saying, based on my edge, the market is not going to go to this level before breaching my target. And if it does, you need to accept that risk that you may be wrong, because a it takes just one trader to negate your positive expectancy on any given trade. Because I remember, as an example, a trade that Simon Brown took. I think it was Transaction Capital. I may be wrong, but I think it was
Yeah,
Transaction
yeah,
Capital.
I think
Um,
yes.
there was a nice 3% break on above resistance there, and then there was just one, like literally one seller, and it negated his positive expectancy. And after that one seller moved away, the stock moved higher. So what
Yeah,
I'm what
transaction is
I'm
back.
yeah, what I'm getting at is, uh, when you're saying the market is not going to go there, when it does go there, take the loss and keep it moving, and don't um, hope and pray that the market will come back and make you whole again. Because one of the worst things that could happen to you is you ignoring a stop, and it actually the market actually comes back and makes you whole, because that reinforces bad behavior.
Yes, 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 it does.
Yeah.
It,
So
it's.
mhm.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so what was getting it is just your job as a trader is to make the equity line go from bottom left to top right. And the first thing,
Yes, it is.
in order for you to achieve that, the first thing that you need to do, you need to stop it from going from top right to I mean, from top left to bottom right. You need to
To
first stop.
bottom right.
You need
Yeah,
to first stop it from
that's
doing that.
same.
And as long as because there's always five possibilities into any trade. Once you get into once you get into a trade, there's five possible outcomes: a big win, a big loss, small win, small loss, and break even. So your job is to eliminate the big losers, because um you can't eliminate losers completely. you can try and minimize the
True,
losses.
true, true.
For as long as you're not losing a significant amount of money on a single trade, you should be fine over an extended period of time. Maybe not over a couple of trades, but over like 100 trades or 200 trades. You should be profitable if you stay solvent for long enough.
That's excellent. That is definitely the same thing I believe, Njabulo. And the other thing I'd like to add to that as well is when you say to a new trader, look, because I've also done the whole demo with paper trading account thing. Yes, um, yes, you learn the platform and you learn how to trade into a certain extent, but there is this great meme on Twitter which I've seen where they throw a basically an infant into a swimming pool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen it. They throw an infant, like a literal, probably 4 month old baby. They throw the baby in the middle of the swimming pool. And the analogy is there with for me with trading is, man, yeah, jump in and swim or sink. I don't know, but like I feel that the only way you start to gain the experiences,
By actually
the
doing it.
emotion, the emotions, the emotional aspects associated with the trading, losses, gains, blah blah blah. The only way you're gonna experience those things is you're gonna have to you're gonna have to jump in with an actual trading account.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with
So
you more.
real trading. You know, I mean, I like I'm saying, I paper traded, and I was like, yeah, let's go, I can do this, and there was a different emotional aspect attached to when I was using real money. I have no idea what it is. I can't explain it to a person who's not familiar with it, but there's just a different aspect to it.
Yeah,
So with any real trader, I mean, with any new trader, it's like, you know, define the amount of money that you're willing to lose. Take that amount of money, open a trading account, and trade and see what happens.
yeah, and I actually like how you just put that, saying that define an amount of money you're willing to lose and trade that amount, because I actually take that approach. So when I put money into my trading account, I'm saying, at least from my emotional to side of things is, this money, the market can take can take like all of it, 100% of it. However, it needs to do that over as many trades as possible. I try to fight the
Yeah,
probabilities, by ensuring that if I were to lose my capital, it has to be over as many trades as possible. And I run a 2% risk per trade on my trades. I don't risk any more than two. Sometimes I push it to 3% because I continuously fund my account. However, on average is around 1.5% and 2%. And if I'm risking 2% per trade on each trade, I will have to lose 500 trades in a row in order for me to lose all my capital.
jeez, Lord, that's an existential probability.
Yeah, and I don't.
Unlikely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't care how
completely.
bad you are as a trader. No one is losing 500 times in a row.
I don't know if you follow Garth McKenzie.
Mhm.
If you know Garth McKenzie stuff, excellent he had an excellent video out of trading probabilities. Wasn't it on just I think just one lap?
Yeah. It was on
Yeah,
the
excellent with the probabilities. Yeah, with trading
yeah
probabilities, like that whole. So long as you have out of every, I think it was every four trades or five. I can't remember what it was, but excellent, absolutely excellent.
yeah. I've
Speaking to
actually
what
heard
you're
Garth
talking
on the
about
show.
right now,
Yeah, I've heard Garth on the show and discussing precisely that, the game of probabilities and just
it is excellent.
yeah
I recommend that to any new trader out there. Have a look at that. That's one of the things you definitely should look at before you open your account.
yeah. One last question, man, before I let you go. What book or what piece of content that brought the aha moment for you in the trading aspect?
So, Mark Douglas, I have if I could have taken if you were on video right now, I would have been able to show you. I have it stuck here on my wall. I have that I'm a consistent winner because it's here, and I have these other 5 tips, which is anything can happen. You don't need to know you don't need to know what is going to happen next in order to make money. There's a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that defines an edge. An edge is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability of one thing happening over another. Every moment in the market is unique. And I think when I realized that, and this is Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone, a book I think every trader should read. When that was my aha moment, where it was like, okay, so I can make a trade today and it could go up 20%. Okay, very unlikely, but it goes up 2%. Realistically speaking, goes up 2%. And there's a real possibility that I could lose everything in that trade.
Yeah.
So I think my aha moment was letting go of the fact that, look, you do everything you can to risk manage this trade and make sure and positive sentiments and think positively in your direction. But the reality is you could lose that money.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, literally.
Yeah.
And that was my aha moment right there.
Yeah, man. And similarly to me, man, reading Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas completely and fundamentally changed how I trade and how I view trading and how I view each and every trade. And it helped me detach my emotions from my trades. And I think each and every trader, in fact,
Yeah. No.
I think you're better off reading Trading in the Zone before reading any other trading book, whether it's a technical analysis book or whatever. I think you would be better off reading Trading in the and every time I've asked short-term traders on the podcast, each and every time that book has come up. Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. A brilliant book, man. A brilliant book. I've been looking for a hard copy of it.
Brilliant book.
Hard to find.
Yeah, I don't know where you're gonna find that. I mean, other books I've read in Njabulo, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. I also read that after Mark Douglas. And also The Disciplined Trader. Those are the 3 I've read. Those are the 3 I've read. I haven't read any others.
And incidentally, those are my 3.
A lot of the.
No, I'm saying incidentally, those are my 3 favorite books, along with Trading for a Living by Dr. Alexandra Elder.
Haven't read them yet, and I'll give those a look as well. I probably have them in my somewhere in one of my books to read, one of my lists things to do. So what I also do in Njabulo is contrary to our mentor Simon Brown, right? And this is contrary to what he says. There are free trading systems available. There's free trading information. And our mentor believes you should never pay for information. Right?
Yeah.
But I say this. I want to make money. I don't care about being right. And I say this, if you want to discover something and you have I guess there are figures you can put to this, but if you have no problem losing 500 Rand or 200 Rand, and it's some sort of system that someone says is something this and something that, and you have the capital, you have the money to look into it, look into it. And I say this because so I there are these trading systems that I use, and there are these specific traders or traders that I follow. But I am open to information. I listen to I listen to ridiculous traders. I listen to traders who say my system does this and X and Y. I haven't paid more than 500 Rands trying to discover these different things that everybody talks about, but be open to different systems and different methodologies of trading. Just be open to it. For example, there's Siam Kid. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I haven't.
Siam Kid is somebody I follow as well, and I listen to his videos. And yeah, I mean, where there's a myriad of them. There's Petri, and there's other people. And what I'm saying is, everybody is different, and you should be open to formulating your own opinions based on having this wealth of information. Like, go ahead, watch this stuff. But once you've created your system, or if you have a system you trust your system. Stick to that, and don't let anybody else influence you. Once you've made that system, don't let any outside influences you change your mind. But be open to it. Watch it. Sheesh, I mean, I've learned so many different things from all these different people, and I'm still learning on a daily basis.
Yeah. Keeping an open mind does really, especially in the beginning of your career as a trader, it will help you quite a bunch. But once you found your system, stick to it. Don't be influenced by because you're going to end up doing some random trades, and random inconsistent behavior produces random inconsistent results. Matt, and with that being said, thank you for borrowing your time. True. Excuse me. Thank you for borrowing your time, man. This has really, really been fun. I've enjoyed our conversation. I hope to get you back on the show sometime in the future. Yeah, man. Thank you for your time, man. I really, really appreciate it. That's it for the show this week. Be sure not to miss another episode of The Village Trader by subscribing on your favorite podcatcher. We pretty much everywhere. Do join us tonight as you are listening, Wednesday evening. We're doing a Learn to Trade CFDs with Simon and myself, along with ThinkMarkets. Do join us there. I'll leave the link to that on the show notes below. Otherwise, wash your hands, stay clean, be safe. Thank you for hanging again with us. Catch you again next week on The Village Trader. Cheers.